What's good with y'all, man? You watching AGTV. And on this, I want to talk to y'all about being more confident. This was one of the topics that was brought to my attention on Instagram. I went on my story and I asked, sometimes I ask from time to time, like, what do y'all want to hear me talk about? What would y'all like to hear me discuss? And somebody said being more confident. That was on their mind, is like, how do I be more confident? And me personally, the way I personally feel about that is, to be more confident, I feel like it all comes from your disciplines and your disciplines and your actions, really, like what you do on a day-to-day basis. My confidence, I can only speak for myself when I say my confidence really came from me changing things about myself that I didn't think was possible at the time. Like, I really had to discipline myself to do things I never did before, and that's where all my confidence came from. It didn't come from being online. It didn't come from buying new clothes. It didn't come from having more than the next person. It came from me literally bettering myself, becoming a better person. You know what I'm saying? And that don't mean be hard on yourself. That don't mean get mad at yourself every time you don't do something that you should be doing. Because I'm not perfect. I still do things I'm not supposed to do sometimes. And I got to get myself back in check. Like, I had to teach myself how to stop being so hard on myself all the time. Like, I'm just learning that. Like, that I'm learning that I'm going to make mistakes. You know? But all my confidence, I really can't say it came from when I made those changes in my life, and I had to really put like my most pleasurable things to me to the side. And that's when I really started to grow a confidence. That's really when I really started to learn, okay, I could do something with my life. I could do something with who I am. I could become better. I could do this, I could do that. Because once you learn that you got what it takes to better yourself, once you learn that you got what it takes to become a different person or a better person whenever you need to become one, that come with confidence. So when you walk into a room and you see everybody else, they might be popular or they might look like they got it all together, but you know deep down in your soul, they can't do what you done did to become who you are. They can't dig deep and give up this or give up that. Like, they can't go without certain things in life. Like, if everything went bad today, like if all the power was cut out, we ain't had none of this material shit that they promote to us every day on social media. If we didn't have none of that, like, you could look at people and start to realize, like, man, they can't really, like, they got a lot of work to do before they can even compare to me. You know what I'm saying? Because deep down, that's really where your value resides. It's not in how much you got, it's in how much you can go without. That's really where your value come from. And people don't be understanding that. They be thinking, oh, the more I get, the more I'm worth. Or the more I acquire, the more I'm worth. Maybe in this societal, in the societal term, or maybe like when it comes to the way the world look at things, and like all this, all the like I said, society will make you feel like that. Excuse me. But when it come down to it, at the end of the day, like I said, if everything as far as the society went bad, like no more social media, like it ain't no more fashion, it ain't no more like music, it ain't like none of that. Like, if all of that was to get shut down today, it's gonna come down to who could last without it. It's gonna come down to who really valuable, who really worked on themselves, who really is somebody without the world, who is really somebody without society. You know what I'm saying? Are you your own person outside of society, or are you just a product of society like everybody else? You know, everybody, I feel like is a product of society in a certain sense. But at the same time, if you don't separate yourself from the world, sometimes you're going to always become lost. You're going to be a slave to the world at all times. And you'll lose your confidence in that. You'll gain false confidence and lose real confidence. You know, for all the women out there who feel like they got to put on pounds of makeup and stuff like that, first of all, I don't want to say this in no mean way or no hurtful way. Like, some girls just like makeup, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's some girls who put on so much makeup and then they think that they better than somebody else because, oh, I'm pretty, I'm this, I'm that. But if you were stripped of all of that, you wouldn't have no confidence though. You wouldn't have no confidence. Like, and when it come down to it, it's the same thing with the dudes. Like, oh, I'm dripped out. I got Gucci on. I got the Louis Vuitton. I got this. I got that. I'm really that. I'm really him. What they say? I'm him. Like, all that type of shit, bro. If you ain't had no money tomorrow, you gonna look at yourself like you worthless. You know, and I get that feeling. Like, I'm a man myself. Like, I know what it's like when you just broke and ain't got nothing. You really do feel like nothing. But when I was the brokest in my life, when I was the most helpless, I felt like, when I really ain't had nowhere to go, bro, all my confidence came from knowing that I still was able to work on myself in them times. I didn't just mope and complain. I didn't just sit around, do nothing. I didn't just act like my life was over with. I still went and grind. I still changed my life around. I still worked out, got bigger. Still went and tried to find me a job. Still went and tried to get myself together. Made sure I kept haircuts and shit. I still did things for myself that I could. And from that, I bettered myself. I started reading books. I started watching educational videos instead of just music videos and vlogs and shit like that. I started doing things that could really better my mind. I started educating myself. Because when I grew up, I didn't like school. But when I grew up and I started educating myself on things, and I realized, oh, I'm doing this on my own merit, on my own time. I'm forcing myself to do this. I'm literally telling myself to do something, and I'm obeying myself. When you can start getting to that point, you'll build confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's when you'll really start to learn who you are as a person. When you can realize, okay, I could tell myself to do something, and I'll actually do it. We listen to everybody else but ourselves. That's why we don't hold no power. You'll listen to somebody on TV tell you, do this or do that. Or you'll listen to a president tell you, do this or do that, do that. You'll listen to a teacher tell you, do this, do that. You'll listen to a manager tell you to do this or do that. But if you tell yourself to do something, oh, I'll do it next week. I'll start after the holidays. I'll start after this year. Next year, I'm really going to do it. When you get yourself an order, you don't listen to yourself. You only listen to other people. That's why you don't have no confidence. All your confidence is wrapped up in material things and things outside of who you are. And you think that that's what real confidence is. But real confidence comes from being able to tell yourself you're going to do something, having the discipline to change things about yourself to make it happen, and actually making that shit happen. That's where you're going to build all your confidence from. So at the end of the day, man, if you want my idea on how to build confidence, I think that's really all it is to it. If you have any questions about this, we can have dialogue down in the comments. If it's anything you feel like I missed or anything you want to ask me about that. I'm not no expert. I didn't go to school to tell y'all about how to be more confident or nothing like that. This is just based off my experience and how I feel based off what I've been through in my life. So comment down below and we can get some dialogue going about anything you might have questions about or anything you want to tell me or whatever the case may be. But that's pretty much all I got to say. I'm out.